Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or tell overall, but unfortunately, I am under the weather. So if my voice sounds a little bit weird or anything like that, seem like a little bit lower energy, whatever it is, just understand that I am unfortunately battling illness. But regardless, I still wanted to come and hang out with you guys and have a chat, specifically talking about one of the hot subjects of the day, and that is Oko. Wizards of the Coast's employees have come out and stated that they are aware of the situation around Oko. Now, this actually isn't something I expected to see. So this isn't like a witch hunt rah sort of video. This is just to talk about what went wrong, where it went wrong, how Wizards reacted to all this, my thoughts on it. I mean, let's be real. When Oko first came out, when he was first spoiled, I didn't react to him as if he was the most busted nonsense around. Now, part of that was because I didn't know fully what his abilities would do in terms of what a food token was. But overall, it's also that it just wasn't directly obvious to me how dumb and broken Oko was going to be, right? I mean, I looked at the card and I went, all right, this seems okay. Like, this doesn't seem too shabby. I didn't really sit there and pull it apart really from the perspective of standard anyways. Honestly, when I evaluate new cards, most of my evaluations are based around flavor concepts, right? Like, what's the artwork? How does the flavor tie into his abilities? And overall, I thought the flavor behind Oko was great, and the way that his abilities tie in thematically to how he's represented in the book, I felt like that was on point. And I certainly didn't see Oko and go, oh, this is the most busted thing in the world. So I can't turn to Wizards and go, how did you let this happen? Oh my God, you've ruined everything. That level of reaction doesn't seem reasonable. Now, if you're wondering where they acknowledged this situation, it happened during a Twitch stream. It actually happened during a game where one of the Wizards employees, I believe her name is Melissa, she was getting schooled by, guess what? Guess what card? Take a wild guess. Second turn Oko. So the other fellow who was with her, whose name I can't remember at all, and if you want to see this, you can go over to their Twitch channel. It's available there. You can check that out and see the footage of it. But anyways, the other fellow said, okay, you know what? Let's just kind of get this out of the way. Yeah, well, I mean, we know you guys are going to bring up Oko, so let's just talk about it. So when it comes to Oko, he has 3 abilities. We'll go over the abilities, and in your head, you decide what you think is the most problematic ability and what you think Wizards of the Coast employees said was the issue with Oko. So you have his +2 loyalty ability, which gives you a food token. You have his +1 ability, which transforms an artifact or a creature into a 3/3 elk with no abilities. And you have his -5 ability, which allows you to swap one of your artifacts or creatures for one of your opponent's creatures with 3 power or less. So off the top of your head, especially if you're somebody who doesn't play deeply in Modern, where do you think the biggest problem with Oko is? Where do you think they messed up the most? And you can compare your internal answer with the reality of it. Because this individual, Melissa, who I believe is part of the design team, especially from the way she was talking, what she had to say was that they intentionally pushed the power level of Oko. Now, this is no surprise. As I've said in previous videos, they want Planeswalkers to be the face of the game. We've come a long way from when they created the Mythic Rarity. Originally, when they created the Mythic Rarity, it was designed for more flashy cards in terms of big dumb effects, but not cards that were meant to dominate in Standard. Now we've reached the point where you can expect in virtually every set that they print that some of the most dominant cards will always be Mythic Rare Planeswalkers. In virtually every single expansion we get going forwards, you are going to see Mythic Rare Planeswalkers that have had their power level pushed. We all remember Teferi from Dominaria and how dumb and broken he was. So they're trying to walk that line where they make the cards attractive enough that you want to have them, attractive enough and powerful enough that they fit into, and by attractive, I don't mean Oko's sweet, sweet abs. I just mean attractive in terms of, oh, I would like to play with this card. I like powerful cards. Everybody likes powerful cards. It's when they become too oppressive that's the problem. So she said that they intentionally pushed the power level on Oko, and it's very evident. I mean, when you compare Oko to Garruk and the Royal Scions, they are both, like Royal Scions and Garruk, are both perfectly serviceable planeswalkers. They're fine. They're not like Tibalt level weak planeswalkers or anything. And in fact, if Oko didn't exist in the format, those planeswalkers would probably get more attention and more shine. But Oko outclasses them by a significant margin. And the problem with Oko really lies with his second ability, the +1 ability that allows you to turn an artifact or a creature into a 3/3 elk that loses all abilities. And this is what Melissa said. She specifically said that they pushed the power level of Oko, but that they did not fully grasp the impact of his +1 loyalty ability from a defensive perspective. And what this means is, at least most likely, because understand that I'm extrapolating on what has been said. She only basically what she said was, we pushed the power level of Oko. We didn't consider how powerful the +1 ability would be from the perspective of a defensive concept. And we are aware that Oko is very strong, and we're monitoring the situation. So that's pretty much paraphrasing. I mean, this isn't a direct quote. Again, if you want to see exactly what she said, you can go over to Twitch. The clip is there. The video is there. You can find it clipped out on Reddit as well if you want. There's a number of locations you can go. It's out there if you wish to hear it in her words. But that's me paraphrasing what she has to say. And to me, what this means is that Wizards of the Coast unfortunately didn't test far enough with the card. Now remember, as I said at the beginning, I didn't see the absolute house level of Oko. And honestly, if Oko cost a little bit more mana or had a little bit less loyalty, he might be, actually, it's more casting more mana. Him having a little bit less loyalty doesn't change the fact that his strongest ability is a plus loyalty ability. That's kind of crazy if you think about it, actually. Most planeswalkers' best ability is their ultimate ability, and their ultimate ability almost always tends to be a big negative cost ability where you have to pay a huge amount of loyalty, where Oko's second ability is actually arguably his strongest ability. Now, when they were originally looking at it, they were probably looking at it more from the perspective that you would use it on your own stuff. So the idea with Oko would be put out Oko, make a food token, and then the next turn that food token into a 3/3 elk. Ooh, look at me, here we go. We got a little 3/3 elk. Not too shabby. They weren't thinking of how it just blanks other people's cards. Essentially, what Oko does is it picks any artifact or creature in play, doesn't matter what it is, and says, yeah, I know what you think you are, but here's what you actually are. You're a 3/3 vanilla creature. Doesn't matter what you were, you're just a 3/3 vanilla creature. Now, I've had things like my questing beasts, Oko'd, never a good feeling. All of a sudden, all those abilities go away. Sorry, I'm sick here. All of a sudden, those abilities go away, and you just have a 3/3. That's it, right? And that's just questing beasts. We're not even talking outside of standard, right? That's just in standard. Outside of standard, it can get really dumb. Oh, are you going to play something gigantic like an Eldrazi? That's a mighty nice Eldrazi you have there. That's a mighty nice giganto creature you have there. Oh, wait, no, never mind. You've got a 3/3 elk, and I just blanked out all of its abilities. Oh, that's a nice artifact that you've built your combo around. That's a mighty fine artifact that you're running. Oh, wait, no, that's right. That's a vanilla 3/3 creature as well. So the +1 capabilities, when you're just thinking it from the perspective of on your side, especially in standard, it doesn't seem as powerful, right? Where it's just like, okay, turn my guy into a 3/3. I'll turn my food tokens into 3/3s and pound on you. Or maybe I'll combine it with, I can't remember the name of the enchantment right now, but it's 1 black, 1 colors to put out. Each turn you amass 1 and lose a life. So each turn you can essentially make a zombie token. With Oko, you could turn it into a 3/3. It gets +1/+1 from the counter on it. You're making a 4/4 every turn. That's not too shabby, but it's something that you can deal with, though. It doesn't feel broken and over the top. So my understanding of the scenario, and again, not having worked there, I can't say for certain this is what happened, but I believe what happened in this case is that they really most of the time only used it for their own, like on their own side. Most of the time, all right, I'll make my own things into 3/3 elks and bring the elk bows. You know, instead of elbows, bring in the elk bows. So they just didn't realize how stupid and dumb it got. They just, and in all fairness, we've got to be fair in both ways. They didn't see it, but it does feel like something they should have seen. Now, I'm not like, pull out the pitchforks and go to war with them and scream about it from the top of the mountains. They screwed up here, clearly, and it does feel like something that they should have been able to notice. It feels like they just settled on, oh wow, check out the cool stuff I can do on my side of the board, and never went, wait, let's see how good Oko is at stopping things. Because honestly, I couldn't see them putting it at +1 loyalty. Honestly, that should have been a 0 or probably a -1 or -2 loyalty ability. Now that I think about it, it most likely should have been a negative loyalty ability. To have it increase Oko's loyalty while also handling probably the best card on your opponent's side of the board, right? Because remember, Magic has had a push now where creatures have come to the forefront and spells aren't nearly as big. So you can get rid of your opponent's best creature or best artifact while increasing Oko's loyalty. And that is incredibly potent, and it is genuinely a mistake. So from my perspective, I look at it and go, okay, you guys, you blew it. It's not as obvious as some other mistakes they made, like Skullclamp, for example, back in the day. That one just screams like, how could you not see this? But, you know, when it comes to Oko, I do feel like, you know, I'll give them a little bit of leeway. I don't know, man. It feels like they should have noticed it, but it also didn't scream out from the card right when I saw it. Oh my God, look what this does. I had to see Oko in action to truly appreciate his power level. And that's got to be the case for a number of people. And at the end of the day, the people designing Magic, they've got a lot of work to do. And they are only human. They're not robots that can run through, I'll be up all night doing all kinds of permutations and computations and running all these, like, there's only so much you can do. I still feel like they should have caught it, but it's not a like, how did you manage to mess this up level of catching it? Now the real question becomes, even realizing that they've made a mistake on this level, will they go ahead and ban Oko? I still do genuinely feel, as I've said in previous videos, that even with the information laid out here, I think it's incredibly likely that Wizards of the Coast will instead attempt to nerf cards around Oko. Oko is too valuable in terms of the whole, I'm the face of the set Planeswalker, all that sort of thing, and the financial value that he brings to the possibility of cracking one in it. Why did I do quotations about possibility? It makes perfect sense. About the possibility of cracking one in a booster pack. So Oko adds value to the set overall. I still feel like they are going to nerf cards around him. Let me know what you all think about this in the comments below. Do you feel like this is something that should have been noticed right away? Is this something that you noticed right away? Want to give a big shout out to my patrons and channel members. I genuinely appreciate the support that you all give me. Come on back tomorrow. And in the meantime, remember that together we are the sixth color of magic.